Hi, Mike.
Hey, Joanna.
So, in the negotiation program, I've seen some quotes being used quite often, and I was wondering if you could give me some um, information about these quotes. What do they mean? Why are they useful to know in a negotiation? And I would like you to start with the first one, which is, if you, then I. What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's a great place to start because this is probably the most important concept in all of the negotiation. So when you're making a proposal, it should always be reciprocal. So if you want the other side to accept your proposal, then they have to get something from it, right? But of course, you're asking for something as well. So it's this reciprocal idea of if you do something for me, then I will do something for you. So if you, then I. One very important point is it should always be in this order. Never if I, then you. Because if I say, oh, if I do X for you, then will you do Y for me? It's a question. It's much weaker language. If you do this for me, then I will do this for you. That is strong, clear language, and it's the language of negotiation.
Great. Okay, let's go to the next one. Try to say yes on your terms.
Yeah, also a really good one. It's a really interesting idea because um, what it is saying is you actually, in a negotiation, you don't want to say no. You don't want to tell them that you can't give them what they want. You don't want to tell them no, because it's negative and it's not moving things forward. However, in order to say yes, it has to be on your terms. It has to be something that is acceptable for you, and it has to be for something that you can really move forward with and get benefit from. So this quote is saying that always look to say yes in a negotiation, but make sure that you have added the necessary elements so that it's acceptable and beneficial to you.
Mhm. So it's like looking at the win-win rather than the compromise, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Definitely always looking for that collaborative mutual agreement that is really beneficial to both sides. So sometimes you may have to say no, but if you can, if there's something you can add to it to turn that no into a yes, then you always should look to do that.
Great. Okay, the next one is probe first, disclose second.
Yeah. So probe first, disclose second. So to probe, of course, means to kind of test and gather information, and disclose means to give information. So absolutely, you want to give information. You want to share with them. You want to tell them what is possible, what is not possible, what your needs are, what your issues are. But in terms of the order, what you want to do is you want to gather that information from their side first. So wherever possible, find out what their needs are, find out what their issues are, find out what their BATNA is, etc. So probe first, find out their situation, and then offer your information after that, if possible.
Great. Okay, next one. Behind every proposal lies a need.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one actually. So we often talk about we spoke earlier on about position and interest, right? So the position is what I'm going to say to you, but the interest is what's behind it of why I might say that, what might be motivating me, what my needs are, etc. And a proposal is exactly the same. So when somebody makes a proposal, they're telling you what they need. They really are saying this is what we need. So but what you're looking to do is to explore that and uncover, okay, they've asked for, let's say they've asked for X amount of money. Maybe let's try and uncover why they landed on that amount of money, what they might want to do with it, or what they might need it for, that kind of thing, because that can help us to dig deeper into the negotiation and actually find a proposal and a solution that's actually more beneficial than the surface level proposal that they've made. So as it says, behind every proposal lies a need.
Okay. Next one is put a price on demands.
Yes. So this one comes naturally to most people anyway, but you might have a counterpart that is quite demanding. They might be asking for a certain discount, or they might be asking for a certain speed of delivery or a certain level of service or whatever it may be. And it may be possible that you can provide that to them, but you should never provide that to them without putting your own price on it, right? So if they have that demand, then maybe you can offer that to them, but you're going to say, okay, here is the price. So remember, try to switch it into the language of negotiation. So, okay, you've demanded, let's say you've demanded a 20% discount. So what's my price for that? So if you do this for me, then I will give you a 20% discount. And whatever that may be that you demand in exchange for it. But really, you should never give anything away, never anything of any substance, without putting it back into the language of negotiation and making sure it's a reciprocal deal.
Right. Nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. This makes a lot of sense for me. But
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So we spoke about it in a previous video where maybe something is misunderstood, or maybe there's one issue on the table that is avoided or not dealt with because we're aware that it's going to cause a challenge, or could be the problem that stops an agreement being made. But you have to face it. You have to reach an agreement on everything. And if there's an issue still left on the table, and if it's an H in your hit list or an H in their hit list, something they have to achieve or something you have to achieve, then you cannot expect them to put pen to paper on a contract without achieving it. So it's very, very often the case. Usually it's the most common things like price, a bottom line price that is hard to negotiate around. But this point absolutely stands. You can make all of the lovely additional agreements on top, but you've got to make sure that the fundamental aspects of that agreement are in place. So nothing is agreed until everything is agreed.
and the last one, which is my absolute favorite, because I just remembered one of our colleagues uses this all the time with us.
Mhm.
And you let me know if you know who it is after you explain this quote. So, a proposal beats an argument. That is the quote. And the person who is saying this all the time is always saying, tell you what, let's do it this way.
Mhm.
When we have an argument.
So the quote is, a proposal beats an argument. So you can get into this kind of very deadlocked situation of arguing over the rights and wrongs and the ups and downs of a certain point, but in the end that argument often doesn't move you forward. So how can you move forward? Well, a proposal can move things forward. So if you can present a proposal, say, okay, this is the situation. If you do this, then we'll do that, then that's absolutely maybe they don't accept the proposal, but it's moving towards a more productive outcome to the discussion. And yes, Ioana, we won't name them on this video, but I absolutely know who you're talking about. But it's a great, it works. It absolutely works, right? Because so many people get bogged down in the nitty gritty of an argument, when actually what you really just need to do is make a proposal and search for a solution that works for both sides. So yes, a proposal always beats an argument.